Good morning, guys. Welcome to my Monday morning rant for Monday, the 27th of December. Happy holidays. Hope you all had a Merry Christmas and ate a shit ton of food like I did, and drank a whole lot of booze as well, like I did. um, yeah, my head is cloudy as fuck, but hey, that's every Monday, right? Um, I have to admit, I have been sleeping a shit ton more. Just trying to recover between days lately. Had a good week last week. I had this shoot with a girl who is the host of Miss Inked. Turns out she runs the show. She runs the show. And we got along like a house on fire. Uh, it happens every now and then. You just click with someone so much. She wanted help with Patreon. She's never run one before. She's not on Twitter. It turns out, despite all the stuff she's ever done, all the successful stuff she's ever done, she's never really put herself in the forefront. And I know what that's all about. Like I spent a whole lot of my life being super egotistical. I still am, but putting myself in the front of everything that I've ever done, and success has always come my way because of it. But you get haters, and some people that hurt, like this girl in particular, her skin's not thick enough. So she thinks to put herself up front. So she's always sort of hidden herself away from everything and pushed the girls that compete in Miss Inked, as opposed to putting herself out there. And she's getting into her mid 30s now, and she's starting to realize, like, shit, she needs to put herself out front. She needs to do more. She wants to do more. And it's not easy if you haven't put yourself in front. If you've been hiding in the shadows, lurking behind your successes. I've always believed that you need to put yourself out there, especially if you're an artist. You need to put yourself out there and start to collect some criticism. And you need to learn how to deal with it. And um, if you've had any real success, chances are there's going to be a shit ton more people that actually like what you do, in comparison to the very small percentage of people that actually hate what you do. And yeah, sure, one or two of those hate messages might keep you up at night, but that's just the way we're wired, I think. Sometimes it's difficult to focus on the love when the hate hurts so bad. But we got along, man. We got along so well. She had a tattoo with some names on it, and I was like, who are these people? Who are these names? Turns out that they were her kids, and I counted the names. I think she had 4 or 5 kids, and when I asked about where the father was, she shared with me that he passed away last year. He had a freak accident. He just fell and hit his head and died. And fucking hell, man! Like, it's not often that I'm speechless, but I was. And yeah, we had a really good. Yeah, well, it was a shoot, right? But my shoots are more like hangs, and really get to know people, and really appreciate her, and I appreciate just being able to talk about some shit that's just not easy to talk about. And um, she sent me a couple of messages that night to say thanks so much for just being able to talk adult talk, is what she called it. I suppose she hangs out with a whole lot of young people, and I do too. But real talk is where it's at, right? And it was so nice to um, connect with her, and man, I hope we can be friends. I really do, and I hope that um, she does get her Patreon. If that's what she wants to do, I hope she gets it off the ground, and I hope we figure this out where I'll probably catch up with her once a month, and shoot content for her. I also got to catch up with Lucas McClellan. He is Christie's brother. So I'm sure he fucking hates it. If he's listening to this, I'm sure he hates it that I refer to him as Christie's brother. But Christy McClellan is one of my dearest best friends. And she's going to be a best friend for life because I've known her forever, what feels like forever. And we never fight. And if we do have a disagreement, we'll get over it. And if we need space, we'll give it. And she's just been there for me when I have hit absolute rock bottom. And I've been there for her when she's gone through some tough shit as well. And I love her, truly. And so Lucas is Christy's brother. And I've known him forever too. Ever since I don't know, we were reminiscing about the JDMST forums and about Zen Garage, and he's a lot like me, man. He whatever he's into, he'll spend his money on, and he'll obsess about shit, and he will blow that cash on whatever his hobby is at the moment: mountain biking, cars, making music, doing drugs. Man, he's been through the wars, and he's seen probably me go through the wars, and I've definitely seen him go through the wars. There was a time there where he just kind of vanished. I think that's what happens to the to us, you know, like people who go hard tend to burn out on their own accord at some point and just vanish and disappear off social media for a bit. But it was really cool catching up with him and his girlfriend Taylor. Um, they were visiting from Melbourne, and you know, I feel like such a lazy fuck, right? Like so many of the times when I want to catch up with people, it's so hard for me to get out of the house and catch up with people. But when people are more than happy to come over to my place, I'm more than happy to have them. And these guys came all the fucking way from Melbourne, so I really appreciate their time and energy for coming over. But it was an awesome hang. We had a few to drink, and just talk shit, and it was just so weird for me to hear stuff from uh, Luke's perspective. You know, like he was saying stuff like I was on social media at some point saying that I wanted to end my life and saying goodbyes and shit like that, and I don't remember any of this shit, but it does pop up every now and then. You know, every now and then I'll get a message from someone on Instagram or something, and I'll scroll up a little bit, and turns out the last time I spoke to them, they wrote like huge long essays to say that how worried they were about me, and I never replied, you know, because at that time I was just like I was fucking out of it. So yeah, scary reminders, um, and funny shit too, you know. Like I think Lucas was calling me like the richest bum he knows, and he knows, yeah, he knows me. He knows me really well, and I feel like after hanging out with him last week, I feel like I know him so much more now too. Like he shared some shit with me that was just so fucking hardcore that I think I even said to him like, you don't even need to tell anyone that. Like when you know, like I already know that I love him because he's overcome some hard shit. I already know that. And you know, I think I talk about this quite often, but it's like the people that frustrate me the most are people who just complain about life and complain, you know, maybe they wish they had more money, or um you know, having a bit more money would make their lives easier, and that's what they wish for, and they'll complain about their work, and they'll complain about not having a girlfriend or whatever, and I'm like, man, like these people frustrate me, and they're not my closest friends, and it's mainly because I feel like they haven't really learnt about themselves yet. They haven't found themselves yet. I think the people that I connect with the most are the ones that have felt all of those things, but then they just fucking went through it. They overcame their adversity, whatever their hard situations were in life. They overcame them, whether it's with help or without help. Someone who has gone through the shit and surfaced from it and gotten over it, and has won won that fight. Like that person has learned so much more about themselves in doing so, and they've earned my respect, and they've earned just just being an interesting human being. I think you're interesting when you've overcome some shit, but you're not interesting when you're sitting there complaining about shit, right? So yeah, uh, Taylor was cool too. His girlfriend Taylor is an official photographer for Suicide Girls, and that's just crazy, man. Suicide Girls has been around for so long. Like, they've probably been there from the beginning of the internet. I remember their first website. I remember visiting. I remember thinking, holy shit, this is amazing. Tattooed girls that were uploading selfies taken with shitty digital cameras. And as a member, you could actually leave messages for these girls. And it was early days, so I swear Suicide Girls are a pioneer of community and girls making money doing what they do and loving what they do. And I have a lot of respect for Suicide Girls. So yeah, Taylor is an official photographer. She's got a shit ton of followers on Instagram. She does amazing work, and she's a super cool chick. I was so confused when Lucas said that him and his girl were coming over and something about Suicide Girls and shooting. I thought she was a model. I mean, she's gorgeous, so I thought she was a model, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's shoot. And I even suggested to Lucas, like, I'll do a couple shoot. It turns out she's a photographer, right? So, and she's a mighty one at that. So it was all a little bit embarrassing. I got my wires crossed up somewhere there, and I didn't mean to be patronizing or demeaning in any way at all in thinking that she was just a model and not a photographer. It's just that sometimes I'm so dyslexic I don't read messages properly or something like that. But yeah, super cool to meet them and super cool to hang out with them. And apart from that, yeah, it's just been doing Christmas stuff. And there was a little bit of drama there too. I don't really want to talk about it, but it's like my mum and my sister at some point just decided that everyone that's coming to Christmas should get a COVID test. And some people took offense to that. I mean, I did as well. I don't know. I'm fine. I don't feel sick. Shouldn't have to get a COVID test, but there are these self tests out there now. So I did one of those, and I suppose it's the closest thing I'm ever gonna have to having like a pregnancy test, right? That's what it felt like. And yeah, everyone had to get a test, and it was really upsetting that you know some of the family were having issues and fighting over once again fighting over fucking COVID. Like, it's just whether you get the vaccine or not, and all of this shit. Like, I just hate that this this beast, this monster, is separating people. My family is so tight, and it was just so sad to see some of them fight over fucking COVID. It's just really pisses me off. Uh, anyway, and speaking of COVID, one of my gamer mates, Joker Alex, if you're listening, I'm sorry you've got it, bro. Like, I think it was a week ago where he said he shared a cigarette or smoked a cigarette, which is not a good thing in the first place. He smoked a cigarette and he said, "Do you get a sore throat from smoking cigarettes, Justin?" I'm like, "No, man. I'm in a constant state of being sick. If you smoke nicotine, if you smoke cigarettes, you're just never healthy. You're just sick all the time." And he had a sore throat, and turns out it was COVID. I hope he wasn't spreading it since that time that he had a sore throat, because he probably had it for a while before realizing it was COVID. But yeah, dude, I hope you get well. You're a big boy. You're strong. I'm sure you'll knock it out of the park in a few days. Um, but yeah, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope everyone has a fucking awesome week of just chilling and doing nothing much, because that's what I intend to do. Then again, I also have booked a few shoots, which is great. I've got a shoot booked with Anna Moon. She's an escort from Melbourne. She just recently asked me to go through all my socials and delete photos where I clearly depict a face because she's going through some security shit and security issues, which is really sad to hear. But and she was really apologetic about it. But I'm like, don't be, you know. Every time a girl asks me to take down photos for whatever reason, whether it's because she's changing career or it doesn't matter what the reason is. They're not my photos. You know, my photos are of other people, and so those people own these photos. So I'm always more than happy to put the work in to go through everything: Twitter, Instagram, my blog, and Zen and Patreon and everything, and just put the time in to delete everything because it's only fair. Um, so did a bit of that, and also shooting with Misha Lee. She's a Sydney-based escort who has a friend, and they want to do a double shoot. And turns out I follow her friend already on Instagram, so that's super cool. We will be shooting next month. So yeah, guys, have a good one. I shall catch you guys in the next one. See yas.